Столько-то час
We
22.
love
Есть еще несколько времен?
Spyro!
Ну,
Guys,
давай
Spyro! It's a smaller town
больше
here, but they
час
got the
двадцать два
energy of a true
тридцать,
Spyro
меньше
fan.
Так.
час двадцать два
So guys,
тридцать.
let's get into a new
За
game
час
here. Would you like to count
22
it down with
ровно?
me? Let's start at 3,
Угу.
2,
Давай так.
1, go!
Так, и, собственно, мы уже
Spyro!
начинаем.
И
У
за
нас
час
сто...
All right,
24, да?
guys, welcome
А,
to
ну можно,
Spyro
давай.
120%. My name's
Вообще.
Dayoman. I've been running this
В общем, у
game for about
нас категория
9 years. Oh
120%.
God, it's been
Это у
so long.
нас...
9 years.
В
9
общем, надо
hard,
пройти
arduous
каждую
years. And
карту
after all
на
this time, I can
100%, и
finally
в итоге
say
у нас в общей статистике
that I have
будет
found all the dragons and all the
120%.
all the
Для этого
treasure and
надо
gotten all the
открыть
world
всех
records that a man could
драконов,
ever ask
вот,
for in their life. But I
освободить из
still want more,
статуи.
guys.
Это у
My grind is
нас,
not over. And you see,
по-моему, их
well, I just
80
got a 1
всего.
second world record the
Потом
other day, but I'm
победить,
2
по-моему,
seconds away
врагов на
from the
каждой карте
120
всех,
in 120%.
собрать все
So
кристаллы,
thank you. So
ну,
can I get it?
самоцветы.
We'll just have
В
to see. I might even
общем,
just get it right now, to be honest with you
стопроцентное
guys. But
прохождение
maybe
игры.
if you believe hard enough, if you hype up hard enough, then we can do it
Также в
together.
игре у
But
нас тут
I
есть
believe.
всякие
Yes, and of course I got
интересные
Nitrox and Wed
челленджи,
on my couch
секретики,
behind me
их
here.
тоже мы
Would you guys like to
собираем.
talk a little bit about yourselves?
I'm
В общем,
Nitrovsky,
открываем
Nitro for
всякие
short. I've been
потайные
running this game for
дверки.
9.5 years, just one-upping Dale here. No
Oh,
big deal.
no.
Also world record
И, в
holder,
общем,
but in a different game,
наслаждаемся
Spyro 3,
первым, можно сказать,
117%.
челленджем. То есть нам
I'm
надо
Wed SR, Wed for short. I've
пролететь,
been running
собрать
Spyro
все
games since
коллектаблсы,
late
чтобы
2013.
завершить челлендж. Тут
Mostly Spyro 3, bit of Spyro 2, not
собрать
really Spyro
бочки,
1, but
пролететь сквозь
been around
ворота,
long
там
enough, I know.
дальше
So yeah,
собрать
so we've all been around
самолетики,
since
собрать
well, let's say about
всяких
2013, and in
чизбургеры,
that time,
наверное.
this game, as well as the entire original Spyro series,
В
has
общем,
come such a
активностей
long
много
way.
очень.
In late 2013, to give you guys a little sense of the progression, the history behind this game, a legendary runner by the name of Tuval
Комьюнити
found a
очень
trick in not only
сильное,
this game, but
всяких
Spyro 2
скипов
and 3
очень
and Super
много.
Mario Sunshine as well. What a legend! Called credit skip in this
Ну, в
game, which
общем,
is going to
думаю, мы
allow us to
разберемся.
get past the final boss without activating the unskippable credits and go on to the final level, which houses, of course, the final 120% of the game with a special power-up. So be sure to stick around
Но
till the
также
end
у
to
нас,
see
чтобы завершить на
the magic
120%,
unfold before your eyes. But
раннер
right now, we're
говорит,
just coming to
что,
the end of the
по-моему,
first flight
надо,
level. I know you're watching this, you're
в общем,
thinking,
не
Dale, this
активировать
is really not
карту
that interesting of a game. Well, you just hold on to
без
your pants,
активации
because
какой-то там
this next
карты
level and all of the
и,
normal movement levels, you could say, are coming up
в
next.
общем,
You
пойти
see,
сразу
Spyro's
к
movement
боссу.
in this game is all controlled by charges, jumps, and flames, essentially. So the way we
А,
chain those together is and use
Также раннер
sort of frame-perfect
передвигается
flames
прыжками.
into a charge, into a
В общем,
glide.
у
The
нас
way we do those
Спайро,
movements,
дракончик,
there's no
может
cooldown between them, so I can flame
подпрыгивать немного
perfectly
и
charge
при
out
этом
of that. Now,
атаковать.
what that allows
Так
me to do is
он
actually a really
двигается
insane
чуть-чуть
strategy where
быстрее.
you can force gems to home in when ordinarily they're not supposed
Это
to.
мы
When
будем
you flame an
использовать на
enemy, the gem
протяжении
just
всего
pops up into the
спидрана.
air, and you would have to jump up and grab it or wait for it to hit the ground. That's slow. We don't want to do slow things. So what we do is we get up nice and close
Ну,
to
сейчас
enemies. Let's see
раннер
if I can
говорит,
show you
что
on
мы не
this guy.
будем делать
No, he
медленные
had a
вещи.
shield. I wasn't ready. But I'll show you on the next few enemies
Так,
if we can get up to that section. There's a lot of flame charging.
ну, в общем,
Flame followed by a
побеждаем
very
врагов.
precise charge that allows
Вот,
gems
кстати,
to home in and
основной
adds this whole
интересный
level of
момент
nuance to the
мувмента,
movement of the game.
что
Now check this out. There's an
вместо
unintended
того,
jump we're
чтобы
supposed to hit
мы
right here. Get
поворачивались
down there. You can just see
кнопками
kind of how
на
we're
геймпаде,
chaining together
мы
all the movement in order to make
бежим
it
в стену,
kind of this
нас
beautiful
разворачивает, и
symphony
так
of an
намного
otherwise
быстрее,
really
если
kind
надо
of
повернуться на
simplistic
180
sort of
градусов.
movement.
Также,
We're about to go for a really cool
когда
out
мы
of bounds right here.
пролетаем
Now you'll notice all these
по
dragons that
наклонной
I'm collecting here
поверхности,
that are
мы
80
можем
in the
лететь
game.
дальше.
All
Это
you have to do is just
используется во
press
многих
X and then it sort of
моментах.
skips their dialogue, which,
И,
let's be
по-моему,
honest,
сейчас
isn't
вот,
really
да,
that interesting.
с
Most of them just say,
помощью
thank you for
пролетания
releasing
по
me.
наклонной
So, real
поверхности
quick,
мы
this has
можем
always been
выйти
a
в
dream of
ООБ
mine now that I'm on the big stage.
и
Hi, Mom.
просто
Is, can I get from the
проскочить
crowd, please,
до
a thank you for
статуи с
releasing me?
драконом.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you, guys. That was a dream of mine. I really appreciate that. Okay.
Раннеров. Тут
So those
интерактивчик
are,
небольшой
thank you
был.
guys, really. And so we're basically coming to
Благодарит
the end of the first real
комьюнити
kind of
всем.
level of this game. We have a few more in this home
Раннер.
world. The next one gonna be Stonehill.
В общем,
a lot more
собираем
wide
мы
open space
всякие
and
сундучки
a
с
perfect amount of time to get
самоцветами.
in some of the initial
Собрать
donations.
самоцвет во всей игре нужно.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a lot of love for you here,
В
Deo. So
общем,
we got a $100
Пробегаемся по всем уровням. Также у нас есть локация хаб.
Love you, Mickey.
Сейчас мы в нее возвращаемся. То есть игра у нас разделена на несколько миров. В каждом мире у нас
You can
локация
keep going.
хаб,
We have plenty of time.
через которую мы можем перемещаться на разные уровни.
saying good luck and comfiness to Deo, an awesome Spyro runner and one of the chillest dudes out there. Cute chat says $5
Сейчас чайку
donation
хлебну,
tray.
подождите.
Ooh, cute chat. Can I real quick just tell you guys a little story about my first experience with Spyro at GDQ? It was on Chris LBC's couch back at
Так,
AGDQ 2020. He was the first run of the event.
Ну,
and there were
сейчас довольно
thousands of people in
интересный
the audience. It felt
сетапчик.
like millions of eyes
Мы
on us.
прыгаем
I
на
was wearing a
фонтанчик
Spyro
вот с
onesie,
водой,
which, by the
и
way,
так можем
shouts to
перескочить
Fezzy in the
стену,
crowd
и
with the
это
Spyro
быстрее,
onesie,
чем
continuing the tradition.
мы бы
Can we get a
оббегали
camera on him real
локацию.
quick? Fezzy, let's go. Anyways, so I was sitting on Chris's couch and I was like nervous out of my mind, right? And essentially,
Сейчас раннер
Chris,
говорит,
when
что он
me and him looked
очень
at the chat after the run, and we were like, oh
нервничает,
God, they
потому
probably
что
ripped us
это
a new
его,
one. They probably hated it all. And
насколько
all
я
we saw
понимаю,
were
это его
miles of
первое
pages of Twitch chat that
выступление
said,
на
cute
ГДК,
chat with cute little emotes beside them. So,
скорее
in
всего.
honor of the comfy vibes of this game, some
Хотя,
of the
возможно, я
nostalgic beauty of it
ошибаюсь.
all, I think the whole cute chat envelops everything that I
Так,
love about this game and everything that makes
в
the
общем,
community
собираем
behind it so
всякие
awesome. So if you love
кристаллики,
this
как
game, you
обычно.
know, hit your boy with a cute chat.
Ну, сейчас мы
So we're coming
стукнулись
up
об стенку,
midway
нас
through
немного
Stone Hill right now.
быстрее
Again, you can see just
повернуло,
how
если
much
бы
more
мы
wide
просто
open of a level this is
зажали
compared to the
кнопку
one we just
поворота
completed.
персонажа.
But we're still using a lot of that flame charging right here. How you get the flame and get that gem to home in, guys. I cannot describe with words how precise that is. Try doing that at home if you have access to
Также
this
вот,
game. It takes with
если
every
использовать
gem and every
атаку,
box and
когда
every enemy
мы
its own sort of
летим, нас
practice and nuance,
тоже
spacing,
проталкивает
and the way you
чуть-чуть
charge
дальше,
and flame and
чем
turn. It's really
рассчитано.
quite an art.
То
And
есть это
why
используется
speedrunning
в
this game
довольно
so to
многих
me is so
местах.
awesome. Again, you see what's in front of you. It's so simple, but underneath the surface, when you really try
Тем
to make some of
временем у
these
нас уже
strategies
7
happen, you realize
драконов
just how easy it is to
освобождено
get
из
caught up in the
80.
sluggish PlayStation era movement. You know, this game came out around the same time as Resident Evil. So, you know, just let that sink in as far as movement mechanics are concerned. So anyways,
Раннер говорит,
I wanna turn
что
things over a little bit right now to
эра
Nitrotsky,
PlayStation
who has been known
вто-
to be a tasker
второй
who made
консоли,
amazing,
вот когда
tool
игры на
assisted
нее
super
выходили,
play
это
of Spyro
было
3,
очень ужасно
Spyro
по
Year of the Dragon
мувменту. Я, конечно,
117%.
ничего не могу
Nitrotsky,
сказать на
what is
этот
your
счет,
perspective
потому
on
что
tassing and the Spyro
у меня
original series?
PlayStation 2 нету и не было никогда.
Right. As you mentioned, I've already
Допустим.
tasked Spyro 3. I actually started a Spyro 1 any-person task, but that was like, what, 8 years
В
ago
общем,
now that I started that.
освобождаем,
And legend has
возвращаемся
it,
в
every time
локацию
someone
хаб.
mentions it, the test is delayed by another year.
So rest in peace a year.
I'm pretty sure more people are mentioning it right now. Probably.
God.
Guys, don't mention it. Don't mention it. So yeah, so this game's had like a
Кстати,
ton of
может
different
показаться, что
tasks
мы не
since
все
Nitro-
кристаллики
Nitro and
подбираем,
Laconia were pretty
но
much the only people that tasked this game
у
back in the day.
дракончика
But, well, you know,
есть
with the
как
help of a
бы
few others, but in recent
область,
time we've seen a lot of really interesting
в
tasks of
в пределах которой он
a
автоматически
miscellaneous
все
category,
кристаллы
kind of an
собирает, так
unofficial real
что
category of this game called Vortex by
это не
Waffle
особо
Wizard.
важно,
What
если
a
мы
legend.
прям
I mean, that task was
не
the
прям
first
четко по
ever,
кристаллам будем бежать.
run that uses cheats in order to get accepted by task videos, which is really a cool advent and shows how far speedrunning has come from the early days of Speed Demos Archive. From you only got one run that shows on the page, and you know you gotta go through
Кстати,
all
по
these like little
Spyro
steps and
есть
rules.
довольно
Just showing how much
интересный
more
видос
inclusive
Тасса.
of a
Вот
community
сейчас
it
раннер
is now, no matter what game
говорит,
you pick.
что довольно
Really,
интересно
the rules are
смотреть
made
на
by the gamers
что
who play these
вообще
games, and it's just cool to see speedrunning as a whole come
возможны,
full circle
скажем
to that.
так,
There is no, as far as I could tell, there is no
возможности
gatekeeping. There is
компьютера.
no like, oh, you have to do it this way, you have to do
То
the
есть не
main
факт, что
categories, 120%,
раннеры могут
80%.
повторить
Vortex is such a cool category
все
in this game,
тасраны,
and,
но, в
if you guys don't
принципе,
mind, I'd kind of like to tell you a little bit about it. Would you guys mind if I told you a little bit about Vortex
вполне
percent, like
возможно,
what
я
even
думаю.
that is? Yeah, okay, all right, we have some Vortex fans, okay. So Vortex is, you have to enter a cheat code, which I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking cheating, that's terrible. But the reason for it is because look at all the things
Сейчас,
I have to collect in order
кстати,
to get through the balloonets.
небольшой
Oh, get the
шатаут
Hold on, give me a
вкачи...
second, I need to focus.
I'm
Ой,
disappointed.
он не смог проскочить.
No!
Oh,
Oh, no, hold on.
I hear about this.
Come on.
Довольно сложный прыжок.
First try.
Наконец смог.
first try.
В общем,
Yes, yes.
шатаут в сторону Vortex
Amazing.
категории. Это
Also,
у
right there, I
нас
just want to point out,
категория,
I
которая
got a little quick
разблокирует
kill on
все
the thief. I'll be
порталы
talking about those as I
сразу,
keep going
по-моему.
through it. But let me not get
Я,
sidetracked here.
конечно, комментировал
Vortex
один
is a
раз
category where you have to go through every
Vortex категорию,
exit
но
level
это было
vortex. You
давно
see
и
that
неправда,
yellow,
как
you can kind of see
говорится.
once I turn around here, there's a
В общем,
yellow
нам
return
нужно в
home
той
vortex in the
категории
distance. Well, if you
проскочить
exit
через
through each and every
абсолютно
one of
все
those and
порталы
complete the final game,
и
you don't have
закончить
enough
игру.
requirements to get past the
Спидран
balloonists,
там
which take you
длится,
to the
по-моему,
next
20
homeworld.
минут,
You see, each of these balloonists have
насколько
their
я
own set
помню.
of like they need. For example, the first balloonist needs a number 9. The second balloonist needs a number 9 large. The next
И
one needs a number 6
для
with extra dip.
перемещения
Then two number
по
45s, one with
порталам
cheese,
там,
and a
короче,
large soda.
нужно собрать определенное
Thank you.
количество
Is that all?
кристаллов,
Yeah, that's
чтобы
all. That's all they
использовать.
require. They don't
В
actually
общем, есть
require that. I
несколько
just wanted to say
способов
that.
перемещения
That for
по
here too.
мирам,
Yeah,
то есть
that was
это
for here especially.
порталы,
But no, like the
это,
actual category of vortex.
короче, есть
Oh my
там один
goodness, hold on.
The save.
интересный
The save,
чувак,
hold on. We're
который
entering Toasty from the back
перемещает
because we
нас с
can't enter it from the
помощью...
front without going through
Ну
one of
вот
those
сейчас
exit level
мы
vortexes. So let me
переместились сквозь
continue with
текстуры сразу
explaining this
в
category here. I keep getting so sidetracked because this run is so
следующий
intense.
уровень. В общем, есть чувак, который
When you exit
перемещает
through
нас с
every
помощью
exit level
дирижабля,
vortex and
но
enter
для
in the
того,
cheat
чтобы он
code, it basically
переместил,
makes for this
надо
crazy movement
собрать
heavy run.
определенное
That
количество
dog that I just
кристаллов.
destroyed right there, you can actually do a crazy bounce, what we call
Враги
a
здесь довольно
proxy, off of
интересные.
him,
Тут пастухи
which allows
с
you to go
собачками.
fly super high in the air. One of the
Правда,
few really
овец,
glitchy
тут,
mechanics in the
насколько
game
я
is
понимаю,
called a proxy.
нету,
Arguably not even a glitch at
что
all.
довольно
Once we get
странно.
to them, we'll talk a little bit more about them. There's a couple of select moments in this run where we actually do proxies. Now, you'll notice with these dogs right here, that I'm actually, this one, I make jump off the edge, see its gem home in, and then there's going to be another one right before this fight right here that I'm going to be able to...
Вот интересный
It's-
момент.
let me-
Мы
let me see if I
оставили
can show you guys. Pay
одну
attention to this.
собачку в живых,
Whoa, to this dog
чтобы
coming up right here. This is a really
потом
cool
при
strategy.
развороте ее
So
задамажить
normally you
все
have to
равно
flame them twice. Check this out.
победить, скажем так. То есть небольшая оптимизация
And
присутствует.
his gem homed in. So I made him jump up into the air and then flamed him again to make him
Ну, это у
jump a
нас
second time. That goes
вроде
out of the
как
range of what
босс
the game considers
какой-то.
like a safe zone for that dog, and so it triggers a failsafe where it destroys the enemy. Okay,
Также
had
у
to be
врагов
careful there. It's
существуют
really easy to miss
некоторые
that last hit,
сейф-зоны,
but we are
которыми мы
finally out
пользуемся,
of artisans. Just got to clean up this last bit of
когда
the
они
homeworld,
атакуют.
and we are going to be moving on to the second of 6 homeworld hypers. In the chat. We have
Так,
plenty of time
сейчас
for
мы
some
будем
donations.
перемещаться в следующий
All right, we got
мир.
plenty of them. So I think
Получается.
their ears we're bringing because we
То
got a
есть,
$5 donation from Zero. Who
сейчас мы
says,
будем
"Good luck to
использовать
Deo
телепортацию
Oh,
from all of the
сквозь...
Spyro 1 Vortex runners."
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Ну,
And
сейчас
I'm
покажет, я
also
думаю,
seeing a little trend here because we got
раннер.
$50 from Anonymous that says, "Thank you for releasing me." We got $5
Ну
from Miss
вот, да.
Maddie J, who says,
Перемещаемся с
"Thank you for
помощью
releasing me."
дирижабля в
And
следующий мир.
$25 from Cedric the Dragon that says,
Thank
"Thank you for releasing me."
Any more thank you for releasing me?
Well, you keep them coming if you want.
Oh
them read,
my God!
because
If you
they're
guys
here.
really want to give me your power for this run, send me a thank you for releasing me. It's all we can do together.
С помощью
It's all the power you
донатов
have over this run, let's be honest, but, you know,
подбадривают,
it
я так
still
понимаю,
helps me,
подписчики
trust.
нашего раннера.
So yeah, we're entering Peacekeepers right now. This, as I mentioned, the second of 6 homeworlds. We're going to do the first example. Well, not the first, but we're going to do something called a wall glide right here. You'll notice when I entered that one level from the back, I kind of like glided along the wall. This gets you extra height when normally Spyro would otherwise.
Вот сейчас
drop
раннер
height. So, pretty cool, and
объясняет,
it's so simple,
как
right?
мы
Like,
можем
all these little
двигаться
strategies that
по
I'm doing,
наклонным
they don't
поверхностям
like require like the
дальше,
most
чем
magnum
рассчитана
brain,
игра,
like,
то есть
thought,
мы
like,
приближаемся к
compilation of
стене
community members
и
figuring out
начинаем
this
по ней
insane glitch, memory corruption.
на
This game is
крыльях
so beautifully
скользить,
straightforward,
и
and
нас
yet with
так
these techniques like flame
проталкивает
charges,
довольно
wall
далеко.
glides, and
Сейчас
proxies, as we're gonna
второй
see
челлендж
later,
мы
that's
можем
what adds
видеть,
the
то
real
есть
beauty
собираем
to the
всякие
nuance,
колечки, тут
and the simplicity of this game. It's a beautiful marriage of
дальше
those two worlds, I think. But another
надо
flight level
зажечь
here, we got the
маяки.
jammers in Night Flight. I love this song. If you love this song,
Потом опять у
post
нас
a spinning
появляются
emote in the
ворота,
chat
и
in my honor,
дальше
please.
желтые
If you
кругляшки.
love Spyro
Не
songs
знаю,
in
почему, но мне
general,
хочется
I don't know if
назвать
you've
их
heard about
какими-то
this, but there's
гамбургерами.
a spin-off of Wordle
Хотя это
called
больше на
Hurdle, and
вазы,
there's even a
на
Spyro
сундучки
variant of
похоже.
that, Spyro Hurdle. So if you like the soundtrack of the original Spyro trilogy, I invite you to try
В
that.
общем, у нас в челленджах вообще присутствует
retweet your
таймер,
hurdles.
но так как мы
That
собираем все коллектаблсы, у нас таймер
literally everyone that I follow, like, they
увеличивается,
get it
и
first
мы
try,
довольно
'cause everyone knows every song.
расслабленно
All right, here's a
этот
really tight
челлендж
turn right here.
проходим.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, like, it looks simple, but you have to trust me. I'm using the L2 and R2 buttons to kind of adjust the camera to help make these turns
Ну,
just a
сейчас
little extra
раннер
sharp.
говорит,
In fact,
что
Nighthawk, I
довольно
wanted to ask you about this. Does
сложно
using
не
the camera
врезаться
actually
в
make the turns
разные
sharper in flight level?
препятствия, потому
He's
что
shaking his head.
управление,
He's
мягко
like, you are
скажем,
full of wrong information.
не очень.
Always. It's funny how you can play a game for so long
Но, в
and still
принципе, у
like
нас все
know so little
получилось.
about it.
Собираем
I think that's like kind of a
кристаллики,
beautiful thing.
I even hear a lot of
освобождаем
people saying
дракона.
that D-pad is more responsive for flights.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite.
Oh, really?
You get instant speed when turning with the analog stick, but the problem is the lag of, physically moving the analog stick is probably more time than, just the lag of the button.
Yeah, and that's
Сейчас
like a topic that comes up in a lot of different speedruns, I
рассказывают о
think,
том,
is if
что,
you have the option of
используя
analog movement, that it makes more
аналоговые
sense to
стики, я
use a
так
D-pad
понимаю,
or
другого
digital
контроллера
version of going
какого-то,
left to right. You could go left to right instantly in the
PlayStation,
space of one
наверное,
frame
там
using a D-pad. Look at a
специализированный.
game like
Там
Crash Bandicoot,
скорость
zigzagging, where
хоть
you're going like
и
diagonally up, diagonally right.
стабильная,
You
но
simply
там
can't do
присутствует
that with an
небольшой
analog stick
лаг.
in the same way that you can
И,
with a D-pad. So,
в общем, довольно
yeah, it's an interesting topic. Is like,
проблематично
what is the
рассчитывать
most optimal way to play a game?
на
Is using a
платформингах
digital movement or using
управление
analog?
персонажем.
And interestingly, a little like kind of wrench thrown into that whole thing is you'd think it would be so clear from the top players. They all use analog or they all use D-pad, but in this game, me and the second place person
Ну
in
вот
this category,
он
I
говорит,
use analog
что
and he uses
кто-то
D-pad. So
на
it goes to show that you can really approach a
обычном
game however you
D-паде
want. It doesn't
от
like you don't have
Sony
to do what
ранит,
everyone
как
did
наш
before you
раннер,
in order
кто-то
to
на...
progress. In a game, all you need is time, dedication, and
Блин,
a
ну вот
little bit
только
of
что
luck.
сказали, я уже забыл.
So yeah,
В
Boris,
общем,
right
на
here, we're gonna go
другом
around the
геймпаде
backside.
кто-то
Here's one of
ранит.
those parts of the levels where, as a kid, it's kind of like, wait. So you can figure out this part, right? You can fly to this
В общем,
section, then
в
here's one of like the
чем-то есть
convoluted
свои
late 90s things.
плюсы,
Go around, do
в
this blind
управлении,
jump, and here you are.
в управлении
Yes, I'm a legend
D-падом
for
есть свои
figuring that
плюсы,
out.
в общем.
Thank you. So yeah, after this, there's not a whole
Есть
lot too
что-то
much
для
else in this
каждого,
level.
назовем так.
I think I might open it up for another donation or two. Why not? I'm starting to
В
get a little
общем,
comfortable.
собираем
I'm not gonna lie to
ключики, с
you.
помощью ключей мы
Well,
опять же
we
закрытые сундучки
have some
открываем.
just so much love. I can't even talk about how much love there is for you here in the donations here, Dale. But I did want to point out we have a $120 donation from Anonymous that says $120 for a 120 and 120%.
Yes.
And if you eagle-eyed viewers out there might notice, we are currently $70 away from, you guessed it, $120,000. So let's make that happen. We also had a $10 donation coming from Fat Frogs, who says, "Hey Deo, hope you're having an amazing time at GDQ. Congrats again on the new world record
довольно,
in hugs."
скажем
Love you,
так,
Frog.
популярный
You're the best.
спидранер
Yeah,
в том
some
плане,
Spyro hype
что
in the
его
chat,
прям
guys.
донатами
I
очень
love it.
сильно
It
поддерживает
warms
его
my heart, like, so much
аудитория,
to see that there's
то
still
есть
fans of this series,
всячески
of not
выражают
just this
свою
game, but Crash
поддержку
Bandicoot, Ratchet and Clank. These are games that are gonna see some representation in this marathon.
какими-то
So if you guys are
локальными
enjoying
мемами.
any of this, if this is reminding you of your childhood, please stick around, because this is only the beginning of it. It's day number 1, y'all.
Ну
I'm
да,
very
есть
excited to
свои
see it.
нюансы.
So right there,
В общем, кто-то
I did a
пользуется
strategy called
D-падом,
a spin
кто-то
jump.
аналог
In this
стиком,
game, you can
но,
like
как
sort of,
говорится,
you
есть
can see
нюанс.
like jumping and charging and jumping and charging.
Ah,
Well, for some
понятно.
of the tighter to reach jumps, you have to use the charge
Трансляция
mechanic in
залагала,
order to
походу.
preserve Spyro's horizontal momentum. I know this is getting a little convoluted, but you gotta basically continuous momentum straightways instead of dropping it. Don't fall, and we're good. Yeah, I wasn't even worried about it. Key. All right, there we go. Sometimes the key trolls you like that. It's a thing.
Сейчас
And
довольно
you'll notice also I'm exiting the level using
можно
the
было
pause
упасть, в
button. It's
общем.
basically the exact same thing as exiting out of the return home portal.
Но
Once you
так
have all the
как
gems, all
немного
the
лагнуло,
dragons
я
and
не
eggs,
увидел, куда он
then
мог
you're
упасть, так
good.
что,
And those,
допустим,
again,
в
those I didn't
пропасть,
mention earlier.
окей.
Those are the actual requirements of this game: is eggs, dragons, and thieves. I don't know what that whole big smoke order was about earlier, but that's what the actual requirements are. So yeah. Clifftown. Oh my God, this is another one that has a really weird like thing at the start. As a casual player, it's like so you wouldn't think unintuitive is the word that comes to mind. Look at this jump. It's like, who thinks of this stuff? Come on, Insomniac.
Вот, довольно,
But, yeah, so in this
довольно
level, there's gonna be a
интересный
lot of,
прыжок сейчас был, то
sort of like
есть
wall gliding around the
казуально
edge here, trying to grab these gems out of the air. When you
вряд
see
ли
these
кто-то
gems not homing in,
догадается,
see them popping into the air,
как
there's an
раннер
element
говорит,
of RNG. One of
прыгнуть,
the only elements of
прыгать с
RNG in
этой
this game is
стороны.
the direction that gems
То есть довольно
fly out
много,
when they don't home in. So that's one of the things that really
довольно много рандомных
affects my
моментов
runs at like the really nuanced high world
именно
record
по
level. You
отношению
know,
к
I could have had
Вот таким прыжкам, когда он буквально на каких-то пикселях приземляется на платформу.
Where a bajillion gems like just fly out at you. You have to hope they all land in a good spot. Hopefully I got the red right there. Nitroff, can I get a confirmation whether I got that red?
Looked like you did.
Yeah, thank you.
Ну,
I do
пока,
that with my chat all the
в
time. It's
принципе, довольно
borderline cheating,
неплохо
but you know
раннер
what? I'm all
идет.
about
То
it. I'm
есть
sorry, guys. I'm a full-time speedrunner.
всего в нескольких моментах были
My blood.
проблемки такие.
You've lost some respect for me, Dayo.
I know. I was just about to ask Wed, like, what are you thinking about this game? What do you think about Spyro? And actually, I wanted to ask you guys this: is how does this game, in your mind, relate to Spyro 3? How much of the skill like transfers over? How different is it? Does it nothing transfer over? Like, what is that whole deal?
I honestly wouldn't say too much transfers over at all.
Довольно длинный прожойк
The
был,
movement
опять
from the
же,
game, like the
как-то
physics engine is just so
довольно
radically different
интересный.
from the first
Я
two.
думаю,
The
казуально
gameplay
вряд ли
game, a
кто-то
lot of the
догадается
mechanics
сразу
are
туда
extremely
лететь.
different, and it really just feels like a completely different game. The only thing that manages to stay kind of the same is like the routing aspect.
В общем, тут
I
надо
mean,
у
you have the
нас
same
побить
moves,
You do.
except you
этих
can't
вот
roll.
птичек.
Yeah.
Have you rolled yet in the run, Dayo?
Not yet. I will be
И
later on in the run.
освобождаем
I'll be
еще
sure to
одного
point out when we get a
дракона.
roll, we'll get some hype going. Oh God. Play.
Yeah, they removed the roll in Spyro 2 and 3, but that's basically the only difference is for the moveset. Oh, they added the hovers as well.
Yeah, they
And
added hovers
head
and a
bash,
couple of other
swimming, things like that. But yeah, they've changed the physics engine between the first game and the second.
All right,
And-
I'm gonna get controversial here. Do you think the mechanics are better in Spyro 2
А,
and
ну
3 than they are in
также,
Spyro 1?
наверное, уже заметили,
I don't
мы
know if you're
собираем
the right.
You gotta answer
яйца
the right
драконов. Это
answer
у
here,
нас
all right? I'm
еще
the one
один
in the hot seat, all right?
collectibles
You don't say yes, you're gonna
на
be in
этом
big
именно
trouble.
уровне.
No, whatever. You're gonna be in big trouble either way.
I believe they're more
Ну, мы
interesting
собираем
and
все
nuanced in the first game.
сокровища, все...
They're more nuanced in this game, you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
В
Yeah, 'cause
общем,
I think
ради
it's a little bit more
кристаллов
simplistic. As you guys mentioned, there's like,
и
It's a bit
для именно
robotic in the next, in the
120%
next two
игры.
games. Like if you
О,
just play, you don't notice it
В
so much. But if you use
120%
like a top-down
категории,
view to watch
в
Spyro
общем,
move
надо
in
собирать
those
все
games, it's
сундуки,
real, like,
все коллектаблсы, все
robotic,
челленджи.
constant turn rates, etc. This game has drifting
Скорее
and,
всего,
um,
всех
yeah,
врагов
that's
тоже
basically all
побеждать.
all
Я
that's
просто
needed
говорю так,
in the
потому
other
что
two
я
games to make
лично
them less
игру
robotic,
саму,
but still,
ну,
like,
своими
just
руками
that small difference,
не трогал. Возможно, это когда-то произойдет.
just adds a lot.
Так что я не знаю,
Since we're
респавнится ли
talking about like
враги
different
или не
Spyro games here, I just
респавнится.
wanted to like ask you guys as well, like,
Ну, в общем,
thoughts
будем
on, like,
считать, что
since
нужно
you say Spyro
победить
2 and 3 are so
всех
different than
врагов
the
на
original,
уровнях
what are you
тоже.
guys' thoughts about the reignited remaster that came out in 2018? How similar is
Ну
that
да,
to the original
стопроцентное
trilogy?
прохождение. То есть в
There's a
игре как
correct
бы
answer
такого
and an
понятия,
incorrect
как
answer here, guys.
I guess I'd probably be the better
120%
person to bring that up since I was the one that
120%
actually ran
прохождения
those.
именно уровней не существует, но если пройти все уровни на 100%, то в конце
Honestly,
в
they're probably a bit
статистике
closer
будет
to Spyro 3
показываться
specifically, but there's a lot
120%.
less, a lot less funky stuff in the way that the original game
Довольно
had.
сложная
There's still
система,
plenty of,
но,
like, glitches and
кстати,
all,
я
but,
даже не знаю.
I would say more
По-моему,
so.
такая
Yeah,
же
reignited, right?
система реализована еще в
yeah,
какой-то...
most of those end up being like extremely different compared to.
Блин, да я даже
anything
не
that the
знаю, где
original
еще
games had to offer.
реализован.
These games, it's like mind-blowing how
Если
solidly
честно.
built these games are. You look at another game
Ладно,
from the late
побеждаем
90s, like Ocarina of Time, and
еще
you
одного
see just how
босса.
blown open the speedrun strategies are in a game like that.
Потихонечку.
Another 3D adventure game, right? But this one has no sorts of like memory corruption sort of strategies, arbitrary code execution, pause buffering strategies, like maybe like some very niche cases, but overall, like you see, I'm not doing really anything that could be really considered a glitch in this game. I would go so far as to call this a glitchless category, which to me, it
Возвращаемся
makes
в
it all
хаб.
the more intriguing for a casual player to get into. By the way, that was my favorite boss in the game. His name's Dr. Shemp, and he has size
Ой, сейчас
100
ранее довольно
Gucci
интересную
sandals. If only we could all
мысль
be so
сказал,
cool as
что
him.
по
By the way,
отношению к
another, like,
казуальному
favorite level of
игроку
mine. You guys remember
довольно,
this game?
наверное,
Ice Cavern.
интересно
This is actually one
смотреть
of the
за
largest levels in the entire game in terms of surface
категорией
area
без
coverage. So,
гличей.
one of the things
То
that I
есть
love,
именно
another
просто на
kind of neat thing
скилл
about this game for its
игроков,
era, is just take a look
скилл
at this. I'm gonna take a
спидранеров,
second here
которые
just to look out.
не
There's the
используют
entire level.
разные
You go to that,
проходы
all
в
that area out there.
Outbounds,
Like,
там,
in a game, think about like Silent Hill 2. It's like fog
ну, в
like
общем,
5
такое
feet
вот.
in front of you, and that's how it was for like every 3D game of my childhood, basically. But
Тем временем мы переместились в следующий...
I know, right? Oh my God, imagine.
В пещеру, получается, уже.
No, but honestly, on the topic of like getting like a really good run, like in a setting like this, I think when you play a game for so many years, I gotta like readjust my glasses 1 sec. When you play a game for so many years, you start to kind of get to a point where you need to be at the full maximum amount of focus,
Ранее
discipline in order
задел
to really
очки немного,
get good
пришлось
paces, get good
поправлять.
runs. You know, you've had 9
Ну,
years
я
to hone
думаю,
your
это у
route.
нас
And so how much better can
тайм
you get it? Some
лосс
people
уже
believe
на
that there is
целую
a human
секунду.
limit, but in a game like this that has so many
Мог бы и
variables
не
and
поправлять
ingredients, I
очки.
firmly believe that there is no human limit. The only thing that limits you is yourself when it comes to the like,
По-моему,
ability
здесь,
you
кстати,
have.
вот
You need to be
я
able to focus. You need to
по
be able to
Vortex
completely
категорию
hone
помню,
in on
здесь
every
довольно
racing
сложный
line and cut it as closely as possible.
прыжок
But
должен
not too
быть.
much to
Будет
where
ли
you're
он
playing
его
it
делать
risky
или
and
нет?
losing gems. I mean, it's a whole, as I mentioned earlier,
Ну,
art
сейчас
form
узнаем.
that I think is just a really beautiful thing in a video, in a
Толкаем
speed game
врагов в
especially.
пропасть,
Now I'm
так
trying to sideswipe these poles right here.
быстрее их
You
убить,
can see I missed one, and you have
победить,
to like hit these. Again,
чем если
another
мы будем их
example of
атаковать
gems that are probably
постоянно.
kind of annoying to figure out casually. It's like, how do you get those? You're like jumping up at them. Now, see, look at that. I wanted that guy's gem to home in, and that kind of shows you guys how precise
Насчет мыши я
the flame
ничего не
charges
могу
are. I have
сказать,
to get
честно.
so
Вот
close to these enemies
раннер
and flame and charge
спидранит
very
именно
quickly,
на
just the right way to get them to home in.
консоли
Same with
самой.
this box right here. And you can see just how secretly you can like cut
Ну,
it.
кстати,
Like I
насчет
played that one
очков, да.
safe, you know, but we're talking about the difference
В
of
общем,
frames that
раннер
adds up to
ранит
seconds and minutes
на
over the course of a
консоли
run.
PlayStation 2,
I'm
так
waiting for the day where
что
flame dislocation is going to start being used real
вот я не
time.
знаю, можно ли
So
мышь
what he's talking
подключать
about
к
is
ней.
a strategy where you can flame and then make the flame. See how the flame kind of like visually went off like the
Ну,
wrong
на
way
эмуляторах,
than it
скорее
actually like was
всего,
supposed to
да,
go.
типа
We call
какой-нибудь
that
такой
flame
скип
dislocation or
есть.
flame disassociation. The
А
hitbox
вот,
always stays in front of Spyro, but
а,
visually the artifact may like point the wrong way if you do a.
It's a little like
не знаю, ну сейчас
unintuitive.
посмотрим.
Both the visual and the hitbox are
По идее, не
dissociated
должен он делать.
from Spyro, but in different ways.
Да,
So you
да,
see
да,
the
тем
visual
более,
just goes all over the place. The
ну,
hitbox also
GDK,
gets
мягко скажем,
dissociated, but not
к эмуляторам
wildly.
довольно,
But yeah, this is
ну, в
like
общем,
this is a
относится не
strategy
очень,
used in
скажем
passes
так.
mostly
Так что
because
все
it can be used
всегда
to like start
спидранят
turning
на
earlier when you go
оригинальных
for a
консолях.
flame charge in a corner or something like that. And honestly, I think at this point Dayo is not too far from starting to look into using some of them.
Если вдруг вопросы
Yeah, Taz, like
про
one
там
strategy I actually sort
эмулятор,
of
не
borrowed
легче
from
ли там
from Taz is that is like
использовать или что-то
humanly
такое.
achievable is using a
Ну
lot of
да,
what's
да,
called
да,
jump charging,
пузатый
which
телевизор,
jump
все
and charge
по
instead of using this charge jump mechanic where he's like
старинке.
sort of doing a charging jump. By doing jump charges for tight movement, like sort of like that, obviously it was a little sloppy, but by doing a lot of jump charges, you actually cut down the racing lines in between every gem and every possible destination. You see, this game is just a series of
Не,
destinations.
ну
You're
лично
just
мое
trying to get from
мнение,
this
я
gem
думаю,
to
они
that one, from this point
как-то,
to the
ну,
next. And so the more you optimize, as I say, the racing
хотел
lines
сказать
between
мысль,
those,
что
then the faster of a time you're gonna
подшаманили
get. But
что-то там сами,
it's a
ну,
dangerous balancing
организаторы,
act because the
но
harder you go at these sorts of
вдруг
optimizations,
я
the easier it is to
вспомнил,
miss
что я
gems.
читал
See, look at
где-то,
that. Now,
что
isn't that crazy?
Spyro
I charged
первый,
right
он,
through that
короче,
guy. But the reason the
очень
gem didn't home in is because I came
оптимизированный
from
был
too
именно
high
для
on his
PlayStation
hitbox. So
2.
you have to really
То есть
play at the
это вроде
game's
как был
pace. You
стартовый
cannot like try
эксклюзив,
to go
насколько
too
я помню.
fast. The game
Хотя
will
я
let
не
you
знаю, я
go
эту
too
информацию
fast and
где-то
punish you for it.
читал
Another really
года
cool
4
example of like
назад.
the humanity behind the run
И,
that I think is so
возможно, у меня
interesting.
уже
Now,
все
we're coming up to the third
перемешалось
of
в
6
голове.
homeworlds here. Guys, we're getting through
Ну,
the
тем
run, and
временем мы
it's coming to an
перемещаемся в
end
следующий
pretty quickly, to be
мир.
honest with you. I'm gonna miss you guys. Nitroff, Wed, it's been quite a journey so far. Well, I'm glad at least we at least get to have the rest of the game together. So yeah, I just want to tell you guys I love you.
Ну, яйца мы собираем
Yeah.
не только в той
But
локации, а вообще по
yeah,
всей
in
игре,
this we
получается.
got some people in the audience sharing
То
their
есть
love.
это нам тоже нужно
In
собирать
this
для
homeworld, we're going to see the first examples of
120%
superchargers.
категории.
Not in this level, but in the next one, the game really starts to heat up.
Да,
in
да,
terms
да,
of,
он
like, just
на
the
PlayStation
visual
2
excitement of how
играет.
fast Spyro moves when he has a sped up charge or supercharge, as we call it. But this first level is mostly cycle based. We're seeing a lot of like enemies kind of controlling platforms. The wizards
Ну,
are going,
также в игре
wow,
есть такие
wow,
ускоряющие
wow. All of their
платформы.
cycles are important in how I
По-моему,
approach them in order
ими
to
уже
maximize time
пользовался,
fit. So
но
while I get through that, let's go ahead and get some more donations going.
You got it. We have a $25 donation
Ну, в общем,
from
собираем
Drake Lake,
опять
who
всякие
says, "Hey,
кристаллики,
Dayoman,
побеждаем
your mom
врагов.
was
В
actually
общем,
the one who introduced
заниматься
me
мы
to
этим
your
будем еще
streams a few
целый
years
час
ago.
почти.
She spoke really proudly of you, telling me about her
Ну
son,
да, 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 я
who was
говорю,
working
я
hard to get the world record for
как
Spyro.
запомнил,
While I only
что
pop into your
в общем,
streams here and there,
какая-то
I thought it would be
информацию я
perfect to make
читал,
my
что
first donation during your
первый
run and
Spyro
wish you nothing but the
оптимизированный
best.
был
Donation goes
очень
to the run's
хорошо,
choice, please.
прям
Thank you.
специально
And I'm going to put the choice towards
для
the, I believe, the perfect
PlayStation
dark
2.
thing. I forgot what it was. I literally was told the incentives like a second ago, so I was like, yeah, Perfect Dark. I like that game.
Yeah, actually, good news for you, Dayo, then, because we have met that
Ну и
incentive.
по сравнению с другими
And we have met
играми,
the following
вроде бы
incentive, which was for
информация тоже
Tide the
была, что
Tasmanian Tigers
по
Rainbow
сравнению с
Scale
другими
percent. So
эксклюзивами
if
довольно
I may
выгодно
suggest, we have
смотрелось
the
в свое
Five Nights at
время.
Freddy's Security Breach game that will be tomorrow.
Let's lock it in. Five Nights at Freddy's it is. I'm finna get spooked, y'all.
Завтра
Keep it real.
будет
Spooked.
That game is really funky. There's a
Five
lot of
Nights
glitches in that game.
and Freddy.
If I have time for one
Go
more
ahead.
donation, absolutely.
Мишка
Well, it
Фредди.
felt like just a minute ago I was hyping up
Игрушка.
getting ready for $120,000. But we
Блин,
have
эта
blown
игра
way past
еще
that
жив,
thanks to
ну, серия
RFN,
жива,
who
что ли.
donates
Я помню, мы
$5,000.
время офигительных историй, когда
Thank you.
Saying,
лет
"Is it
10 назад,
GDQ time again? Woohoo! Gonna be super hyped to have
в
watching
общем,
material for the next few months. Best
и
of luck
трава
to
была
all the
моложе,
runners less
и
than 3.
небо было
Love
зеленей.
you. For real.
Еще в то время
Now,
были
you might
мысли
have
о том,
noticed
что,
that
ну,
Dayo
кто
seemed to have left
в
the
Мишку
5
Фредди
behind,
играет.
but this
Ну,
is probably
оказывается,
one of the
серия
best
жива.
examples of the kind of split-second decision you have to make when running this game.
Ну,
He's gonna be
раннеры,
walking
опять
right
же,
past that again
поддерживают
later.
донатами,
So,
так что...
right after he missed that, like in a split second, he had to make a decision. Do I go back for it right away, or is it better to wait and go back when I'm going to be right at the end of the
Ну, я
level?
думаю,
The
раннер
answer is
успеет
not always clear. Usually in
хотя
here, in
бы
this time
до
save, the
час
difference is,
23
it's really
сделать ран,
negligible. If I'd have
потому
turned
что он
around for
пока
it, it
идет
probably would have
довольно
been,
бодренько.
arguably, there is a higher skill ceiling for optimization with that versus this recovery I'm going to go for at the end of the level.
Ну,
But
опять же,
you
сквозь
start
текстуры
thinking in terms of
пролетели.
possible, like, half-second
Игра у
time
нас
saves. When you start looking into the nitty-gritty
в
of
этом плане
what
очень
makes,
дырявая.
what makes a run like good strategy
Спайро
routing-wise,
спидранит
in
чуть
this
ли
game.
не
At the end
с...
of the day, we're all doing the same general route through the game. I wanna
Спайро
make a big
спидранит
point of this. The route for this
очень
game,
давно,
generally
очень
speaking, with the
долго, то
exception of some
есть
very small, you know, rerouting
очень
little
много
sections.
разных
Hold on.
интересных
Okay,
скипов
don't.
в свое
Alright,
время
perfect.
находилось, и
With the
сейчас еще
exception of a few like
находится, в
little tiny
общем.
sections, it's the same route that it's been
Нас
since
откинуло
2013.
немного,
How many
но...
video games, how many speedruns out there can you say that haven't had some major big time save or big glitch figured out that totally
Ну,
changes the
спидран
entire routing of the game,
Мишки
how you go
Фредди,
through it
да.
from start to finish? You see, in this game,
Да,
it's
вот
really shows
какой-то
all the more
видос
like
есть,
time and
кстати,
dedication, showing how far we've brought the world record since then.
где
In
прям
2014, the world record was
прослеживается
barely
история
just scraping
спидранов
the sub
Спайро.
130s. Oh, nice.
И там очень
But thanks to
интересная
strategies like this
информация,
supercharge right here,
типа,
we're able to,
как
and
это
again, with
все
all the tiny
развивалось, как
minutia, like
это
little
все
frame time saves, little
находилось.
tiny like jump charging instead to save like a couple frames here, that has brought the time all the way from like low 130 to now a 121.03. Think about that, 9 minutes over the course of an hour and 20-minute run. That is no negligible
Ну,
amount.
тоже
It's
ранее
created from a
рассказывает о
variety of vast amount
импруве,
of sea of
скажем
negligible
так,
time saves.
спидранов,
I think that's just so insane. It's not just
всяком
one thing.
изменении раутов.
And speaking of which, about like really precise movement, all these enemies, as you can see, they're quite large, big boned, you might say, and their hitboxes are correspondingly really large. So when I do the flame charge on them, I have to be very careful that I get close enough, but I don't bonk on them. Additionally, this is another level where you can see the enemies are manipulating the cycles of platforms, and I'm
сейчас
gonna be really
ранее
relying on
рассказал,
this
что
movement being
у
good,
врагов
so
вот
that I can
этих
get a extended supercharge
ведьм,
later in the level
наверное,
called
получается,
Bike Cave. This is,
довольно
and
большая
Nighthawk, you wanna
радиус
explain
атаки,
why
и
it's called
надо
Bike Cave?
очень аккуратно использовать пламя,
It's
чтобы
kind of
нас
rooted in the times of
не
Skype.
задамажило.
There's that really funny
Вот, кстати,
emote
мы
in
сейчас
Skype with just a
пробежали
guy on a bike, and when
ускоряющий
this strategy was found, it was when Skype was still kind of
полосу. Мы ей, скорее всего,
popular
пользоваться будем.
for chatting among speedrunners, and well, it got the name from that.
Это нам поможет
Yeah, and this
перелететь
strategy,
уровень.
I haven't done it yet. It's going to be the
скажем так.
supercharge coming up right after this room here. So, some very actual serious focus time. This could be a big time save if I hit it.
Мгм. Сейчас довольно вот сложный скип с помощью... Так, раннер сконцентрировался. Довольно сложный скип с помощью ускорялки вот этой. И...
Beautiful. Beautiful.
В общем, мы насымся по всей
Thank you.
локации, и
Not
у
easy.
него все
Pass
получилось
only
так,
for
как
like 5+
задумано.
years,
То
by
есть
the
мы
way.
подобрали все, что
Yeah, I'm
надо.
not right?
Это
Right,
очень
right,
сильно
right.
ускоряет
The
время,
original name was mostly for any percent in which
сокращает
missing gem
время
didn't really
подбора
matter,
всех
so it
этих
wasn't as much of an issue. But yeah, for
кристалликов и
120%,
сундучков.
like for a long time, we never even considered going down into that cave with supercharge and trying to get those last two scarabs, or spiders, however you want to call them.
Beetles.
Этот скип называется
Most of that's
суперчардж,
been in
то
place
есть
for a while, but it was mostly
мы
just like that
используем
staircase
ускоряющую
left and right at the
полосу
beginning,
и
that was really daunting for people.
пролетаем весь
Again, like
уровень.
back in the days of
Почти.
Skype. When was the last time you guys used Skype? That's when that strategy was found.
Тем временем,
Like,
по-моему, мы
insane.
собрали уже половину
So that's what I'm saying is so cool
всех
about this game. There's so much
драконов.
like history to it that I think is just
Всего
so
их
sick. I mean,
80.
and with that said, history that's still like evolving, history that hasn't been like, you know, a lot of the speed games, they've been around, maybe they have like their own website from like the late 90s, early 2000s. This game, the first recorded speedrun we have of it is by James Bertoli, posted on YouTube all the way back in 2011 and a couple other playthroughs from before it. So it's really cool to see the speedrun history all right before your eyes.
О,
like that,
сейчас
in
вот,
video
кстати,
form, with
ранее
the exception of a
сказал,
couple runs here or there.
в общем, в чем
Let's see if we can get this
проблема.
triple kill right here. This is not gonna be an easy one.
Такие игры
Nope, I missed it. It's okay. It's okay.
спидранятся
Just
очень
turn around,
давно,
back it up,
и,
backing up.
в общем, существуют,
And then, yeah, the next
таких
level is
игр в
one of my
основном
favorites,
существовали,
Wizard Peak. Again, one
и
of my favorite
существуют
songs of the entire
разные
game. Shout out to
специализированные
Stuart
сайты.
Copeland, who
Для
really
спидрана
cares about the
пока,
fans, really listens to us.
не
We love you,
появился
Stuart.
спидран.ком
We
как
love you. I
самый,
love you.
скажем так,
By the way, I'll point out that I'm
удовлетворяющий
using this
основные
little baby
потребности. И, в
powder bottle
общем,
right here in order to
первый
reduce
ран
friction
Spyro,
on my thumb when I
подтвержденный,
swipe across the
появился на
controller. A lot of
Ютубе
people, I'm gonna
в
be honest, people kind of make
2011
fun of me for
году.
that. I've never met anyone
То
else that
есть
does that, but if
довольно
you find yourself doing like you gotta do what you gotta do to play as
интересная
fast as possible.
как бы
That's all I'm saying.
информация,
And no, my controllers do
если
not get
смотреть
dirty
именно
or
на
break because of
спидраны.
that, though. One time I did open one after like a year and it like exploded into like a cloud of baby powder. It
Spyro.
was quite an experience. Going down here. Again, we're talking about areas of the level that like are not necessarily the most intuitive thing as a casual player. There's one more area that I was supposed to access up there that we're going to try to get to using what's called a proxy. Now, Nitrop, do you want to tell us a little bit about what is a proxy?
Wow, you want a technical definition or the
I'll give you
visual one?
I'll give you the basic. Take a look at this. I'll explain this as I do it, then we'll get a more technical definition. Oh, yes. That is not easy, by the way. Thank you.
Сейчас довольно
Yeah,
сложный
so
сетап
what's
опять
happening
был.
there, Nitro?
Right, a proxy is defined
В общем,
as the
что
conservation
произошло?
of
Нас
speed attained from
враг
the
Of buttons to do that. When they're grounded, like just, you know, there's no void that I can jump into like the last one. When they're grounded, I have to flame charge jump, circle square X as quickly as possible so that the animation happens essentially in mid-air and thus sort of cancels itself by the time I hit the ground. Something along those lines. That's probably not the technically correct thing. Another thing here is I'm taking advantage of these otherwise really slow turnaround animations like on that thief. So that way, during an unskippable animation, Spyro is still doing movement that works in my favor.
nice
And now-
triple treat.
Thank you. Triple treat, a legendary Spring Box.
Impossible strat.
Impossible strategy. And yeah, that's Wizard. That was a very nice Wizard P, guys. I'm kind of feeling myself. All right. And now we're coming up to the next big flight level. But before we get, hold on, give me a sec. This is totally intended. Totally intentional, y'all. Before we get into this next flight level here, I'm going to be doing a really cool trick. The only dragon skip in the game. Check out this dragon right here. I'm going to try to touch it through the portal. And you can just barely hear it get touched. It's just a beautiful trick right there. The only one of its kind. And let's go ahead and get some donations going.
You got it. We have a $50 donation from Ashlyn who said, I wanted to donate during this game because not only is Spyro my favorite game series of all time, Conception also has to be my fiance. Hello. Good luck, Dayoman, and I'm rooting for that 120.
Thank you.
And we are seeing a trend of the thank you for releasing me's. I hope you're all happy. We got a $100 donation from Oloven who says, glad to see everyone back in person and hyped to see Spyro at GDQ. Thank you for releasing me.
Dayo, which one is your favorite dragon?
favorite dragon, it's probably God, I always forget their names, dude. But I think his name is Bakari. He's the one that no, that's not his name, but he's the one that's laying down in Terrace Village.
That's Cyprin.
Cyprin! Oh my God, yes, one of the most legendary Spyro chatters ever, named Axo. Made one of the cutest pixel arts of Cyprin laying on his side, looking all cute, like, "Hey Spyro, what up?" He's looking like that, so I admire his chillness. I aspire to be like Cyprin the dragon. But yeah, again, these dragons, like, it's so funny, like, after all these years, there's only 80 dragons in the game. You'd think I'd have memorized all their names at this point, but it really goes to show that when I get to a dragon, it's such a valuable second for me to pause and relax my brain. This is all really intense focus that's required of me. Obviously, talking and playing, I'm not able to play at the highest level, but when I'm on like a really high intensity, like world record pace, that's when I really treasure those moments when I touch a dragon and I get to just look over at the chat for a second and just clear my mind. I mean, it's a really like human speedrunning experience. There's something to be said for the correct amount of downtime in a speedrun that allows you to play at your best. Okay, so we gotta hopefully hit this cycle here with Blowhard. Oh God, oh, that's fine, everything's fine. Yeah, I was going for like a really early strat there. Just if that was for Laura, by the way, but not quite quick enough. But yeah, this is
Так,
I would like to
1-1-1.
point out, by the way, just like there's a boss level in every
1-1.
homeworld, and each of these bosses make like less sense than the last. This guy is literally a tornado hat. Is the literal Japanese translation of his name. Hurricane hat
Технические
is his name in
шоколадки у нас
Japanese.
произошли, в
He's
общем.
a cool guy. I tried to go for a double spring box right there. That's another kind of
Да.
advent strategy that I've been sort of squeezing into these runs.
В
Making something
общем,
that's already risky,
переходим на
inconsistent, a little bit more like, I don't know if required is the right word, but something that I just
следующий
like to go
мир.
for. It's so
В общем,
satisfying,
пока я
multiple
тут
spring sets at
сообщал
once. I
довольно
feel like a real
интересную
game.
информацию, в
Oh, and
общем,
speaking of which,
любимый дракон у
no, we didn't get the
нашего
squish wizard. It's okay. When you hit
раннера,
that wizard
это у нас
just right,
Сабрина,
he actually gets squished.
потому что
The
она
cutscene stops all the time. You can see
говорит
the enemy in the background is like completely
очень
stopped. And so
хрипловатым
during this cutscene, you see
голосом,
the wizard
как
squished
дела,
against the ground, like
Спайро.
all cute, but alas, not this time, not this time. Squish
И
wizard,
это
you get
очень
away from
важная
it. Till
информация.
next time. And now we're coming at the fourth of 6 homeworlds, Beastmakers. This is where the game really starts to get a little bit more intense with the
В
enemy
общем,
AI
раннер сейчас
difficulty.
делает сейв, потому что
This
можно
next level,
за
Terrace Village,
софтлочить
I have to
игру
be
будет
literally
сейчас.
perfect in order to hit the correct cycle. Another thing to point out is look at these enemies that kind of electrify the floor. If you touch
Ну
a
да,
dragon at the
игра
perfect
довольно
frame that they electrify a
проработана, ну,
floor, it can actually
странно
soft lock the
можно
game because they
подумать,
electrify the
ну,
floor
платформер
forever. So I'm actually going to save the game
98-го
right here,
года.
just as a safety
А
strat in case
тем
you face
временем
some
у каждого
weird,
дракона
soft lock
есть
action, which, you know,
свое
shouldn't happen,
имя,
but, you know, marathons like this
потом
are ripe for the
какая-то
unexpected to
история, я
occur,
так
so
понимаю,
we prepare. But yeah,
тоже
pray for me on these
прописана.
cycles here in Terrace. This is going to be very tight. If I even have one bonk or one missed flame, I'm going to be losing 3 or 4 seconds to another cycle. Again, not a huge thing in the grand scheme of things, but added up over the course of a run, it's like real heart-pounding stuff. So Nitroff, Wed, I want to kind of pose some more questions to you guys. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on like this category versus any percent? Like, do you guys
Сейчас
feel like there's a huge
раннеры
difference between those two? How does that
рассказывают,
kind of,
ну, в
what
общем,
is the category
небольшой как
spread
бы
looking like?
дискуссия
What
по
is that
поводу
looking like
того,
across the Spyro game?
какая
What are the
лучшая
good categories for
категория
you guys?
для новичков.
Sort of, what are the ones that you could kind of skip over?
В
Like, what do you think
общем,
about the different categories?
Well, my opinion is basically known by everyone who watches me. My favorite is 117%. It's
Spyro 3.
Spyro
Вот
3, yeah, it's the 100%
человек,
category
который
of
сидит
Spyro
сзади
3.
слева,
I'd say
говорит,
all
что,
three 100%
по его мнению, лучше
categories
всего
are, in my eyes, the better categories
именно
of
обычный
the trilogy.
процент, при этом
Any percent in this game is actually very unique
именно в первой части
because of
довольно
the kind of
уникально
requirements that you need.
выглядит
In
any
this
процент.
game, as Deo pointed out earlier, the requirements of the balloonists are like some random number of one of the collectibles. And that means that to finish this game
Ну и
at
по
100%,
рауту
all you
выглядит
need
тоже
is,
довольно интересно.
at any percent, sorry, all you need is, 50 dragons, 6,000 gems, and 5 dragon eggs throughout the run. So it's basically like collect
Ага. Сейчас
as
мы
many things as
почти не
possible, as quickly as possible,
чуть-чуть
but like
не
just leave
подхватили
behind the
софтлок.
low-value stuff.
В общем,
And
если бы мы не
the
смогли
routing gets
убить
really interesting because of
противника,
that.
то пришлось бы
Um,
релоудить чекпоинт.
Whereas the any percent in, say, Spyro 2 is only a bus rush.
This is what I was talking about, the infinite pad. Thank goodness I didn't actually destroy the enemy that reactivates it. Otherwise, I would have been soft locked in the level. Can you believe it? On a marathon run? Like, that's like a 1 in like 100 run that happens.
And now enjoy Sparksless movement.
Yes, okay. Wed, can you tell us a little bit about like what's
В общем,
going on with
собираем
Sparksless
опять
here?
кристаллики. Нас немного задамажило.
As you could tell throughout the game,
И
we
выходим в
end up
локацию
kind
хаб.
of leaning on Sparks a lot in terms of just being able to move fast in the game. Sparks tends to have like a kind of squished oval radius. That's at least the definition Nitro kind of gave me before.
В общем,
Actually, only a day ago.
можем, я так понимаю, это у нас кислота на полу. В общем,
Without that, we
можем
just have
немного
Spyro's
приземлиться
base
на
circle
эту
to
кислоту,
really,
и
block
нас
anything, which
чуть-чуть
means
подкинет, и
we
таким
have
образом
to
мы можем
go over and
пролететь,
touch every single one of
опять
those
же,
gems
чуть-чуть
to ride
дальше
on Sparks,
по уровню.
which is pretty slow.
And that looked a bit weird with that movement, but that was entirely intentional. It actually allows Dayo to collect both of those, well, all three of those fireworks crate while taking only 1 damage and without having to wait for them to
В общем, сейчас Радя рассказывает, что можно не подбирать некоторые коллекционаблсы сразу, потому что мы все равно возвращаемся после челленджа на то же место, где, в общем, заходили в него. Опять же, собираем все ворота, при этом дамажим противников.
A key skill of what separates a top level player from another one is that you have recovery. You have a human level of recovery that you can adjust.
Донаты в поддержку спидранера.
You expect the unexpected. It's very samurai kind of stuff. And yeah, another flight level. Let's go ahead and get a few more donations.
Absolutely. We have $200 from Cloverbot, who says, "Thank you for releasing me." $5 from Freelance 7,
В общем, благодарят донатеры благодарят раннера за осознание себя, что бы это ни значило.
Oh my god.
I know, different. $25 as well from Barry Foxes, who says, "Hey Dayo, good luck on the run.
Ну, в общем,
I love to watch
вернулись
you blast through a game that inspired
назад,
my career.
собираем
My dog loves your streams and always watches with you.
кристаллики, сундучки, которые мы оставили. Опять же, трогаем драконов. Тем временем уже 50 штук их собрали, освободили.
Sort of errors can multiply into like a giant issue. Again, being Sparksless here from just something that's like a human error, I think, is while punishing it, like it teaches.
Так, наверное, я все-таки улетел куда-то вперед, скорее всего, да.
A few more donations we might have.
Так, сейчас бы какой-нибудь момент поймать.
Good luck on the run, Dayo, from one purple dragon to another. Thanks for releasing me, Spyro. Donation goes to the runner's choice of Red on stream. And
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. As I believe it's coming up soon-ish, we have $5 from
Сейчас байтит еще на донатике с помощью Spyro хайпа. Так, у меня только что сейчас, ну, в общем, ладно, проехали. Уже сговариваться начал.
Guys, I need you guys' help. Hold on the count of 3. Let me get the best hype you got. 1, 2, 3.
Давайте, да, по таймеру сейчас у меня.
There we go. And now, so yeah, as that donation just mentioned, these levels are casually just absolute pain, endless game overs over and over. All of these enemies are completely ruthless. The way these guys sort of home in on you and just chomp you up, and these little frogs that just lick. It's a mess. This whole level is a mess, and as a speedrunner, it's still a mess because even right here, I have to rely on these frogs, all going into a perfect line like that. But almost, that last one almost did. I have to have a little bit of recovery in order to hit them optimally. Try to get the flame charge on these guys again. They're pretty.
Так, ну давайте я сейчас как-нибудь приторможу сам.
So look at that, getting his blue gem from that, there's a missed one right there. You can really see how precise these flame charges are. Every enemy in box that I flame and charge into, it has to have that level of precision.
Those boars are especially troublesome.
Yeah, one of the hardest in the game.
The big thing that really doesn't help in this game is that flame charges definitely vary from enemy to enemy in this game.
Так, ну мы также все собираем всех драконов, собираем. В общем, у нас все так же, все то же. Побеждаем врагов.
The flame charge radius in 2 and 3 is gigantic. It's almost as
Раннера
large as
благодарят
Sparks'
за
own
осознание
grab
себя.
range, if not larger. And whereas in this game, you've got to be right there, right, like really close to the center of mass of that enemy.
Guys,
Осознание
we're coming up
своей
to the
жизни
island. We're coming
благодарят.
up to one of the worst sections of the entire game. If you remember this part,
Окей,
I really need you
допустим.
to just hit me with your blessings. Hit me with the thank you for releasing me. I need them now more than ever. There is going to be approximately a dozen different enemies in a confined room here on this island. Let's see if, oh my goodness, let's see if I can get through at least with Sparks.
Good start.
At least with my life. Yeah, right, good start.
Так, возвращаемся в
Sparkless, but we're
хаб
still
сейчас.
okay. And is there one more? No, we're good. Whew,
We live.
we made it. We made it.
Довольно интересно у
Not my
нас
finest,
враги
but,
здесь
you
в
know, we
качестве
made it.
кабанов представлены.
All right, just clean up the last of these gems right here. For some reason, the developers just threw a few extra gems up here, leading kind of to nowhere. Kind of epic. Good game design.
That's the way back to the main level.
Yeah, you can have like a glide to go all the way back. Exactly. There you go. You understand the level design of this game better than I do.
As a speedrunner, we kind of grow to not think of that. We just think of the route out. The route ends there. That's fine. That's the end of the level. But no, the end of the level is supposed to be at the vortex.
Yeah.
A fun little thing back there, right when Dayo ended up exiting the level, you might have seen that.
Сейчас нам говорят, что можно, в общем, получить в игре экстра самоцветы. Это можно сделать, если подобрать в общем, самоцвет и при этом войти в... Ну да, я немного спешу, мягко скажем. Сейчас давайте я на секунд 30 прервусь, попробую замедлить себя.
I wouldn't be the one to tell you.
Of the enemies outside the level, yeah. Just a lot of little cute, like little niche scenarios like that. You fly out of a level and the enemy is auto. Like there's a lot of like safeguard mechanics in this game where like if an enemy is like detected to be somewhere it's not supposed to, if it's supposed to be thrown by a boss and it doesn't get thrown, then it automatically disappears and you see all the gems just sitting there as if the enemy was never there at all. So really great sort of QA for a game that, again, from an I know I make a big point of this, but this is from an era in games where like I mean, I don't know. You don't see a game like this solidly built nowadays. And that was an intentional death abuse right there. I'm going to go for a little jump. Oh!
Nice.
Very
На,
nice.
все равно спешу.
Shoutouts to Laura.
Shoutouts to Laura.
Так.
By the way, Laura's going to be playing any percent at ESA.
Давайте буду не таким экстрасенсом от русского спидран-комьюнити тогда.
And here is going to be a really tough, like, little line of boxes. Again, if you hit, like, a box or an enemy from too high...
В общем, довольно сложно опять у нас прыжки идут.
Yeah, that shouldn't have worked. And now here, this red thief, you might think, oh, man, why are you letting him get away? You can actually even get an early kill on him right there. But we're actually going to save him, oh, God, for a little bit later. Totally intentional movement. And... yeah, it's just like a smidge faster to get them later.
Но опять собираем все это, все сундучки. В общем, как уже повторял, буду повторять, ничего у нас не меняется, поэтому примерно мы уже знаем, что происходит, где происходит и почему происходит. Сейчас... Ага, все, я замедлил видосик. В общем, набираем скорость. Довольно интересный скип у нас с помощью ускорения опять идет. Подбираем сундучки. Пролетаем и выходим в хаб.
All right, exiting treetops. By the way, to everyone who had like a childhood that was ruined by those levels.
Раннер говорит, что в детстве, когда проходили в первый раз игру, может быть, у некоторых игра сломала. В общем, бросили игру на этом моменте многие. Я не знаю почему, но, возможно,
No, I
узнаем.
can't. You have to hit him perfectly into the corner. It's okay. It only saves like a second or two. But yeah, normally when you get squeezed like by an enemy like that, like in a corner against a wall, you get one of those
Ага.
proxies that we were talking
Огибаем
about earlier, where you get
стены,
bounced way up high
проходим
into the air. We're gonna be doing that
под
actually in the
мостами,
next level,
получается.
Haunted Towers. You're gonna see a really cool wizard squeeze proxy, we would call it. But in this one niche case, and again, it's like kind of a cool example of how like there's always something that breaks the rule. In that particular case, you're pushed so far into the corner that the game chooses not to even end your charge or proxy you at all for
В
whatever reason.
общем,
I mean, I can't even explain that. Science can't explain that strat.
рассказывает, что огибание угла
Go
по
for a little
диагонали
strat right here.
как-то объясняется
Hop on the mess,
научно,
get this guy hurt.
то есть
No, okay,
объяснить
it's
с
fine.
помощью
Recovery.
науки можно.
We're good.
Довольно полезная
Yeah, so like
информация,
all of these like
наверное.
little recoveries are
В
they're so
скобочках
simple
нет.
and benign, but like putting them together into like a big like painting of a run is like what makes this game for me.
I cannot stress enough how difficult this kind of movement is. This is one of the main examples. Like, you can be good at the game, but you'll not reach Dayo's level until you've played the game for 7 years straight.
Ну, сейчас опять про мувмент рассказывают,
Your goal is
что
to make it look like you
даже
never
через
get through
7
to a
лет
normal person.
Yeah. Dude, and even when
спидранинга
I
у
mess up,
нас
it's like I still see people like
довольно
talking to my
сложно
chat, like, dude, it
управлять
looks like you did that
персонажем,
level
поэтому,
perfectly and you like lost 10 seconds. And me on my head,
возможно,
I'm like, oh, I messed this
некоторые
up, I messed
ошибки.
that up. You know, it's crazy how your perspective shifts over time the more time you put into something. You start to become your own worst critic, but in reality, you're just going further than any other and
Так, и мы
anybody else ever
перешли
has.
к
You just kind of go further than
боссу,
that. And I think that's just
получается.
a beautiful thing. Even with all the self-loathing that comes with that, I think a lot of speedrunners know
Побеж-
what I'm talking about when it comes to like
Побеждается он
getting
довольно
a world
легко,
record
нам
and just like,
нужно
oh, this sucks, I hate this. You know, it's like
разбить вот
that's like
эти вот
part of
шпили,
in a
нужно
weird way.
было.
Yeah, it's like part of the magic of this whole hobby. I think, as weird as that may sound. Okay, glide over. By the way, this glide is super hard to do casually. I noticed that I'm pressing square and then X in
Сейчас
order to
раннер
initiate the
говорит,
glide, so
что
that way I can preserve height and speed.
казуально
A casual player
очень
would just press X
сложно
again in
сделать
midair and
вот
pretty
такой
much never make that glide without like a perfect jump and X
перелет,
press.
скажем так.
And we are coming to a close here in Beastmakers. I'm gonna try to catch this
Ну, так
cycle.
как мы спидранеры
Here, the
и мы
electric pads as I
выполняем
come around the keys and
более
the
сложные
stumps here. Shouts
какие-то
to Stump, the volunteer who's been around
скипы,
in the Spyro
то
community
нам
for a
это
super
довольно
long
легко
time. It's really great to
удалось.
see you, bud. Love you, Stump.
Собираем
Let's see if I catch this. I'm probably gonna
ключики
just
для
barely make it.
сундучков.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Sorry, I swear to God, I'm not hamming it up. This is like how much I
Сейчас,
flinch
кстати,
when I play
можно
the game
опять,
normally.
скорее всего, получить софтлок.
Oh, jump. Okay, and you gotta barely like push into that wall as you like ascend up.
И мы
And I do
переходим
a
на
noticeable
следующий,
jump charge right
следующий
there
мир.
because if you just run into that gem, the game stops time. See how that one is suspended in the air? The game will stop time as Sparks grabs the gem. So you're sitting here looking at this gem face to face, like, why can't I grab you? It's one of the
В
most
общем,
frustrating moments. So
в чем
always remember to jump into
состоит
that one. Guys, we're on the second to last
особенность
homeworld.
софтлока?
Can we get
Когда
some
мы
donations? I'm
подбираем
getting a little sentimental here. I'm gonna miss you guys after this round.
самоцвет и при этом
Absolutely,
стоим
we
на
can.
электрической
For
поверхности,
$500, I should
и
say,
иногда
comes
можно
in from
словить
Stump.
софтлок,
Hey.
время
Absolutely.
останавливается, перед нами висит самоцвет, мы его
Stump says, what
видим,
better
но
time to donate
подобрать не
than during the
можем.
first
И
game and category I
напрашивается
ever did a
вопрос,
speedrun of. Good luck,
почему ты
Dayo. This
висишь?
goes to Dayo's choice.
Thank you. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That mushroom was really close to messing you up.
God. Okay, so you want to tell me about how that works?
Yeah, so when you touch the dragon, Spyro moves to the target location, but everything else despawns. And the location at which Spyro moves could be like right where that mushroom was. When time resumes, mushrooms comes back, you can get a proxy, you can get thrown off, and the thing is, Dayo was looking for a specific cycle. He was looking to get on top
Получаем
of that
небольшой
rising
буст
column
от
before it started rising. And if the mushroom is like just intersecting Spyro
феи,
goes the wrong way,
получается.
which like is a very wide area to be fair, he won't make the cycle. We'll have to flame that jester again.
Okay,
Losing a
can we get this?
Ага.
Big trick. Oh, yes.
В
Oh,
общем, еще
so
один
satisfying.
небольшой прокси-буст был сейчас.
Another trick right there. That was the
То
wizard
есть у
squeeze
нас
proxy that
враги
was thought really not to be super viable
вместо
in
атаки
real-time
дамагом
runs.
кастуют
but,
телепорт вверх,
You know, so with the help of
и
players
нам
like
нужно
Saboom,
подловить момент,
really
чтобы
helped,
нас
sort of
подкинуло Прямо
And it's like
далеко
it's crazy how
очень.
like a setup for a
А
trip like
еще
that will
один буст
evolve from like really
получаем.
like taking your time and like making sure you're on like the right part of the thing. And then for me, it's like I just do like it looks like I go straight at it, but all of that movement is so calculated so that Spyro gets spit out of the wind tunnel at the right time. And I did miss that green, but again, last minute recovery, we can
Мгм.
grab that a little bit later.
Hard flame charges can't be
Мы, по-моему,
blamed
не
for that.
подобрали один
Exactly. Yeah, hitting
самоцвет
all of
какой-то там. Мы
those floating armors
подберем
make
его
it so
чуть-чуть
close,
попозже.
and it helps to be lower. You know, we're
Вот
grabbing the gem
сейчас
out
вот.
of its spawn point when we destroy these enemies, and with these particular enemies, it's
И,
harder not because they're not just
насколько вы
because they're
могли
large,
заметить,
but
там стояли
because their
враги,
gems
поэтому
spawn a
мы
little
не
bit higher
подбирали
up in
этот
the air,
самоцвет,
forcing us to, you know, try to do some like
потому что
jumping
они
kind
могли
of
нас
wacky
просто
strats to make them
скинуть
more
вниз,
consistent.
и
But yeah, this is like where
это
a
нам
lot
не
of
нужно
the
было, мягко
sort of more
скажем.
annoying enemies and strategies. There's a lot of in the next few levels. There's going to be a lot of chances for me to kind of make this run go awry, but hopefully we can make it work. And some of you guys might be wondering, with some of these fairies, you get a kiss from the fairy and it turns
Так
Spyro
как
red. Well, the one fairy at the top of the tower, like Rapunzel, Fiona from Shrek style, she's the best fairy of them all.
В
And
общем,
she actually, it's kind of funny. We're like,
сейчас
we sort of
небольшие
get her to
отсылки
go
к
into the wall a little bit with the movement, so we like to call her Wally. At least I do. Shout out to
мультфильму
Wally, we
от
love you.
Pixar «Шрек».
And yeah, just moving through the
Отсылка
rest of this
про
level
фею
right here.
Фиону,
Can I pester you for a few
которая
more
целует
donations? I would love to
нашего
hear some.
You can pester me anytime, Dad. No worries. $50 comes in from
дракончика
Desiree,
в
who says
башне.
Spyro was one of the first games I ever played as a
Блин,
kid. I've been
Шрек это
gaming
же
since I was
Pixar
3
у нас
years old, and
снимал,
this series
по-моему,
started
да?
it all for me. Been loving this run so far, and donation goes to the runner's choice.
Freddy. Gotta turn around for that.
Так. Нет,
Yeah, I didn't
DreamWorks.
see the gem at all, which is
Извините,
basically the bad
ошибся.
sign. You should have seen the gem spawn and get to Spyro, but we barely heard it in the background touch the ground. That was
Yeah.
confirmation for me.
Yeah, you need to have that sound cue confirmation. I mean, it's one thing to play with like sound off, but you're just gonna miss a lot of gems that way. It's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, you gotta be looking. So I think it makes it interesting as a viewer.
У нас раннеры ориентируются по звуку подбирания самоцветов, что они подбираются как бы, и довольно проблематично в шуме разобрать, что ты подобрал, поэтому что ты подобрал, а что не подобрал, поэтому, возможно, некоторые с этим проблемы. Опять же, огибаем стену с помощью пролета по
It's also like the only strat in the entire run
стенке.
that changes a route.
Yeah, so now because I
Тавтология
got that wall glide, the
получается.
entire level order of this homeworld is completely different. So since we got it in the homeworld, see what I'm saying? All these levels here have to be done like out of order. So it makes the splits really confusing. Imagine being on world record pace and everyone's like, hey, why don't the splits make sense? Hey,
Расчищаем
what's
себе
going on?
путь
I
с
gotta
помощью
explain.
пушки.
I'm like, shut up, I'm playing. Grr. Angry gamer. I'm gonna go for a cool little strat here.
Сейчас нам
Another one
покажут
invented
некоторую
by Laura.
крутую страту. И она не получилась.
Oh, okay, we're good. Laura, I swear
В общем,
to God, Laura,
можно
you're not
было
giving me this past one, you just feel like an idiot. Okay, oh, another example of gem RNG here. That gem spouted out perfectly, so it went outside of the enemy's hitbox. I could grab it. So many, like, you can see how many tiny luck factors have to come together to make a level like this go well.
Not to mention, this level is like, it's only second to...
Чё там, как жизнь, да? Да, да. Привет.
Misty Bog, as far as
Сейчас я
strength of the
увижу,
enemies, how
где я
annoying it is to deal
нахожусь
with.
по времени.
Those turtles that spit fireballs, like if you approach them too directly, they're going to shoot you, and there's not much you can do about them other than, you know, go a little further around.
Так. Ну, в общем, собираем сундучки, как я уже говорил, несколько десятков раз, наверное. Так, это у нас... Ресторим наш улетел даже вперед меня, получается.
The little firework chest I blew up right there, pardon me, like the firework I set off, you have to hit that such like the right way or else you'll miss it and have to run through the whole level. And like you're saying with the turtles, you have to hit them in just
ну
the
вот,
right way or else
перемещаемся, значит, в хаб.
and lose your time. And it's like you sort of
Опять.
with time and speedrunning, you know, all these like little mistakes that keep happening to you over and over, you learn to adjust to them, and you turn those like otherwise annoying parts of the game into your strength.
Сейчас, кстати, раннер довольно типичную ситуацию для абсолютно всего спидранинга рассказывает, что спидраня одну и ту же игру раз за разом ты и делая одни и те же ошибки, уже выгораешь как бы морально и физически. Это довольно раздражительно.
I don't think talent exists in speedrunning. I don't think like having natural skill at a game really exists. I think the only thing that's natural about speedrunning is that you love a game and that you want to like get better at it. So the difference between a world record holder, look at any game. Any speed game out there. And the difference between
Сейчас
the world
уже
record holder and
пошли,
second,
значит,
third place and so on is the amount of time you put
размышления
into
по
it. There's no
поводу
coincidence there. It's not like a natural,
мировых
you might
рекордов,
look at this and be like, I could never
типа
do that. It's like, you can. Believe it or not.
отличаются
It
ли
might not
мировые
take you 9
рекорды
years
от
like it did for me. I really
других
don't think
именно
it should.
игроков, которые спидранят игру скиллом, то есть, ну где-то да, отличаются, где-то, ну, спидранеру просто повезло, и он случайным образом получил мировой рекорд, хотя по факту есть люди, которые делают, допустим, некоторые скипы более стабильные и лучше. Вот.
What? What did that guy say? That's what I heard.
I think that's about right.
Мы уже почти приблизились к концу, собрали почти все, что надо, и подходим к финальному боссу.
Grabbing this dragon on the other side. One thing I didn't mention is you'll notice I go around dragons to touch them in certain areas because Spyro
Собрали
runs
73
to a spot
дракона
no
уже.
matter what when you hit a dragon.
Осталось,
You have to know
по-моему,
every
7, да.
spot that Spyro runs to for all 80 dragons and touch them as close to that spot as possible to save time. Good recovery right there. I was hoping to... Whoa. Oh, don't. Okay,
Ох, не получилось с первого раза сундучок подобрать.
Yeah, basically, like, the level of recovery is like, I can't even keep
Но
up with
уже
the
конец,
gameplay.
в
It's
принципе,
like the little
спидрана.
tiny recoveries that are happening here. Now, one of those little gestures right there brought this
Особых
platform here down.
проблем, я
Catch it in
думаю,
time.
дальше не
Beautiful,
должно
just in
быть
time.
уже.
And yeah, there's an even harder strat there found once again by the legendary Wally. Not the fairy, but the gamer. And you can actually get up on that. Oh, you can get up on that early, but enough nerding out. Let's close this out. Let's see if we can get the quadruple duple here. That's not the actual name for it. I kind of just made that up right now. Oh, do I need that? Okay, no, I don't. This is where it's really important to manage your lives because on the final boss, there's a trick that saves time.
Сейчас надо очень сильно смотреть за своим уровнем здоровья, потому что на финальном боссе присутствует скип, который опять же рассчитан на менеджменте своего ХП.
Guys, that is the end of Dreamweavers, the fifth and final real homeworld of the game. The final homeworld coming up
Ну
here
и
in Nasty's world
перемещаемся
is
к
basically a
последнему
gauntlet of
уровню,
4 levels,
к
the third of which
последнему
being the final
миру
boss, each one of them
и
more
к
annoying than
последнему
the
боссу.
last. Yeah, so please, if ever you're going to type thank you for releasing me, or a little praise, or perhaps like a a cute chat message right now. I need your hype for this section of the game.
Байтит опять на донатике.
Yes, that's the GDQ I know. Some hypers. Okay.
Так, собираем драконов.
Any more donations we have?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Tier Bug donates $25 saying, love Dayoman and love Spyro. Show Ganasty Gnork who's boss. Happy SGDQ. And as requested, Anonymous donates $100 with a simple message. Cute chat.
Задонатили сейчас $100 с сообщением «Милый чатик». В общем, побеждаем вот этих врагов с помощью бочек, кидаем на них бочек, они, я так понимаю, в броне какой-то находятся. С помощью бочек раздеваем их до штанов и бьем. Сейчас не получилось у нас подпрыгнуть с первого раза на мост.
Nitrop. You hear that? He likes you guys, man. He loves us.
They're intimidating.
They're pretty scary. They're buff and cute. like every Spyro fan. Just completely intimidating.
Собираем последние
Let's get
сундучки.
back to the game here. Let's get serious. We're gonna go for a trick here
И
called TNT
идем.
trick. TNT teamwork. This one's trick.
This is TN trick.
Сейчас
Yeah,
небольшой
And as you can see,
трюк
I
с
blew up the
помощью
chest right
взрывчатки
behind
был.
there. Barely enough
То есть у нас
space to
это
push the explosion from that TNT forward. Not an easy trick. Kind of
существо,
a little random, dare I say. A bit of a coin flip
наверное,
moment.
обезьяна, строитель какой-то.
Fly around this to
В
hopefully
общем,
catch this guy.
кинул динамит
TNT.
и
You don't wanna accidentally
подорвал
light that
себя,
TNT, right?
подорвал
Wait for it to explode before you
сундуки,
shoot.
которые
Little jump charge right
находятся
there.
за
Little
ним.
task optimization.
В
Human
общем,
task
довольно
confirmed.
интересно.
And then get through this. Hopefully this guy's on the right cycle. He was not on the right cycle, unfortunately. Cost
Сейчас Раннер попытался довольно интересную оптимизацию опять
Here's some. I want to listen to this
показать.
guy. Just
То
for
есть
a
можно
moment.
было абсолютно всех врагов бить одной бочкой, но
Thank you, thank you.
враг, скажем так, немного
Actually, I do
опоздал.
unironically love that dragon.
Поэтому
He
нам
shows up
пришлось вручную
one
его
or two other times
побеждать.
throughout the game near the beginning where he's like, "You'll never get to Nasty Norg," basically. Like, aren't you afraid? And then you get to this level, he's like, "Wow."
В общем, кидаем
You did it.
бочки,
I guess I did, Tomas. Yes, I
A
did.
little bit of lore. All the dragons you free in this world
Побеждаем
are
врагов
repeat dragons.
и
They're dragons that you rescued, tried to get to Nasty's world ahead of you and got captured again. And also a little fun fact about that.
довольно интересно тоже оптимизация одной бочкой. Попали в сундучок и убили всех противников при этом.
Which is kind of a hint at a dragon dupe glitch that exists here. But yeah, the credit skip glitch he's going to be doing later is going to make Delbin spawn 1/3 time in North's Nexus.
Также есть очень интересный скип финальной катсцены, и он, скорее всего, будет это делать ранее.
Don't make excuses.
Хотя, возможно, и не будет, потому что это сложновато.
The best sound people, the best donation readers, and the best audience of them all. I love you guys.
Благодарность всем абсолютно, сообществу, организаторам, залу. Раннер передает.
Oh my goodness. Shield your eyes.
They shoot Doritos.
Yeah, it's okay.
Сейчас
because they shoot
небольшая
delicious seasoned tortilla chips.
как бы смешнявочка по типу это реально типа детская игра с
Could be the remasters. They shoot gum.
искусственным интеллектом
Dude,
таким
so sad.
развитым
Don't make me think about the
на
remaster
тот
right now,
момент.
man. Nightmares. Splatoon. Okay, so here we're really starting to delineate the route here. We go across the left side of the ramp, and we want to collect the other gems with a supercharge after going over the roof later. So this is the last
Все
example of kind of a
самоцветы,
crazy
которые
supercharge route
находятся
here coming
сейчас
up
с левой
after
стороны
Crystal
находились,
Bridge.
мы подберем чуть-чуть
Oh,
попозже
check this out. You can actually manipulate the
с
supercharge to
помощью
start early. Well, you can see a little speed boost
суперчарджа.
there, but
То есть
you
мы
can get the
набираем
supercharge to
скорость,
start there. Anyways, we're gonna get up
и
here,
сейчас
and then last kind of focus time moment. Well, I guess except for
сейчас
credits,
все
a little
будем
focus
подбирать,
moment here. Let's see if I can
что
hit
мы
this
там
charge.
оставили.
Love the music, by the
Пролетаем
way.
и
Okay, nice, got all three, beautiful.
Насымся по всему уровню, собираем в несколько заходов на одном и том же месте, собираем все самоцветы. Ого, довольно интересно. Подбираем последний самоцвет, нас спавнит в, получается, начале уровня, и добираем то, что мы здесь оставили.
Watch out for this guy. We do not want to take damage here. It's going to make the credit skip trick coming up even more difficult. So, I mean, think about it, dude. 0 lives, world record pace. Oh, God. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Так, у нас 0 жизней. Довольно рисково сейчас идем.
And so, yeah, this is just like a very tight moment of the game. Any one of those enemies hits you, you're getting knocked back. You're probably going into the lava. It's a tightrope all the way to the end. I think that's another
Сейчас ранее рассказал, что если мы хоть раз упали в лаву, то это можно сразу, в принципе, ресетать, то есть перезапускать ран, потому что дальше смысла играть нету. Так как я понимаю, у нас, в общем, мы погибаем. В общем, мы перешли к финальному боссу. Но перед тем, как идти за боссом, бежим в другую сторону, подбираем все сундуки, все, значит, в общем, абсолютно все, что здесь разбросано. Побеждаем вот этого вот моба, который здесь бегал.
Sounds very complicated. It's going to look complicated. It's going to look complicated. It's going to go by very quickly, though.
Ну, босс у нас стоит, ждет, пока мы соберем все. И теперь бежит. Бежит он от нас. Подождал, пока мы собрали все сундучки. Не подобрали сундучок. В общем, нам нужно подловить этого босса до того, как он добежит до конца, до финиша. При этом нам нужно собрать все сундуки, все самоцветы. И сейчас это у нас, в принципе, получилось. Так, будет ли он делать скип финальных титров? Ну-ка. Ага. Так. Нет, не получилось. А, получилось. В принципе. В общем, довольно сложный скип, и он пиксель перфектный. Но мы все равно, значит, бежим заново, получается. То есть у нас не получился этот скип все-таки, потому что мы умерли. В общем, в чем состоит скип финальных титров? Мы выходим в ООБ, и в момент, когда титры начинают показывать, мы падаем в лаву, погибаем, и так мы скипаем все. Ну, в общем, все скипаем. Тем временем уже 1:24:34, что-то раннер у нас. Ну да, он много ошибался. Не получилось выйти в ООБ. И надо вот подловить прям момент, чтобы нас подкинуло. В общем, не получилось сделать у нас скип титров, поэтому будем сейчас смотреть все титры.
kind of controversial strategy that Nitroff is already like, he's crying in his seat right now. When these credits start, I'm going to boom, 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 open the disc tray for literal hardware manipulation to make the credits end more quickly. It is allowed on the leaderboards because the actual trick itself that I was going for saves a solid amount of time.
Кстати, раннер сейчас довольно, ну, в общем, сообщил, что можно открыть дисковод на PlayStation, и таким образом можно, в общем, ускорить титры. Так, сейчас. Когда у нас появляется черный экран, мы назад, значит, закрываем дисковод и таким образом скипаем остальные титры. И перемещаемся в конец. Освобождаем последнего дракона и, собственно, собираем прям последние самоцветы.
We'll see. If you guys want, I'll show you a little credit skip if you want. If you want, if there's time, if it allows. But yeah, this is the final level of the game, guys. Nasty's loot. This is like one of the coolest levels because Spyro can finally fly after all of this time. We've been working so hard to get here. And now Spyro can finally.
Я немного ошибся, нам надо вернуться на предыдущие уровни и подобрать все-таки еще кое-что. На финальном уровне, который вот этот вот последний, насколько я понимаю, все-таки. То есть мы уже победили финального босса, посмотрели титры, и сейчас заканчиваем 120% категорию именно.
Everyone spams the Ned Flanders dancing diddles like Frank Face Z emo, or what is it, BTTV? Dude, you can get actually such a crazy time save right there. It's like near frame perfect. If you flame and then open that door right there, you can actually hit that guy early. But we're going to do another strat using sound.
Ну, это PlayStation 2, по-моему. Уже на PlayStation 2 диски появились. Да даже и на первой точно диски были. Картриджи это у нас больше по Блин, хочется сказать Дэнди, а это Nintendo. В общем, сейчас мы проходим под... Все это было, весь этот мувмент ради одного кристаллика. Активируем все фейерверки на уровне. В общем, активируем взрывающиеся ящики с фейерверками, они взрываются и отдают нам последние кристаллики и время. И смотрим финальную катсцену.
So guys, that was Spyro the Dragon, 120%. And Fezzy, get up here on the stage, man. We need the Spyro here. This guy, Fezzy,
у 120% прохождения есть, собственно, такая финальная катсцена веселая, что они с овечкой творят на заднем плане.
I warred on Chris's run in 2020, and now he's finally here in full circle tradition. The Spyro hype lives forever, and I just want to say thank you guys for letting me play this game. If we have time, I'd love to show off credit skip. Do we have a minute? We do not. So guys, thank you for joining
Также
me.
еще раз смотрим
Rest of the marathon. Peace.
Титры финальные. Там